Hey everybody, it's Eric Balance coming to you with the Resilient Minds podcast, where I feature beautiful entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and experts in their field, where they help us discover their X factor, their experience of life, only to discover how they were able to accomplish and find out their Y factor, their big why, their purpose in life. So join me as we get to discover the beauty of our minds and how can we really continue to go after the biggest and most wildest dreams while we continue to pursue and manifest our greatest intelligence that comes from the heart. Also, if you haven't, go check out the new alignment course that I've created at www.ericbalance.com/alignment, ALIGNMENT. See you on the show. So first and foremost, welcome Mr. Danny Morel to the podcast. I'm super excited to have you on the Resilient Minds. Where I talk a lot about how people go through their experience and transform into their why. So how they take your X factor and really bring their Y factor to life. For those of you that don't know Danny is an awakening guide. He's been helping humanity in many forms, has different books, events, retreats, and seminars. But of course, this comes even better from the horse's mouth. So I'd love for you to share a little bit about what you're up to in the world, what you've done, and really share this brilliance that you continue to unfold and share, amplify into our collective consciousness.
Yeah, well, first off, I appreciate you having me here on the show. And hopefully we'll be able to bring your listeners some true value that will help amplify their higher self within them. My story as an adult, we'll start there. I was a successful business person. Had built a successful real estate brokerage, one of the biggest in Southern California. We had about 400 agents working for us, 35 staff. We were doing 1.1 billion in sales, about 38 million in revenue. And I just say that just to share, it was a pretty big company. And so on the outside, you would think that I had it all. And I had it all based off of what the world says all is, and then on the inside, in reality, I was really unhappy, really unhappy. And I didn't even know that I was unhappy. I just knew that something was off. Something no longer felt right inside of me. And my mom passed away. And when my mom passed away, that really kind of forced me to start asking some really deep and profound questions about some things that I had always wanted to know and some things that I was afraid to ask, quite frankly. And that's what began my spiritual journey. That was, 6 years ago now. And ever since then, as I have changed, my purpose, my mission, my work has changed, because I truly believe that when you really are in tune with yourself, the work that you do is just an extension of you. So you don't really work, And today we lead people through retreats. We've written one book. We've got another book coming out, but we have an event called Awaken, where people come together and we bring them healing modalities that are non-plant medicinal, so that they can experience it for the first time. And then we help them to truly transform their lives. We help them to see that all the limitations that they've ever believed or bought into were simply as a result of programming, fear, guilt, and shame-based programming that they experienced when they were younger. And that's what we do.
It really is a fascinating concept, because I think, for so many people, fear is such especially in this day and age and what's been happening over the last, couple of years. Fear has been such a powerful propaganda tool and tactic, specifically focusing around COVID, and now a lot of other things with the war or Ukraine and things like this. But also, for thousands of years, even before, our great brother and teacher, Christ came around, right? Like a lot of this propaganda, fear-based mentality And I think that this is something that, as a new paradigm, a new earth, a new era, a new golden age, we're here to really facilitate a change and break down these old systems, like completely break them down in a way that allows us to facilitate real abundance for all, real
Yeah,
abundance
yeah.
for everybody.
Everybody.
And for everyone, right? Because everyone deserves it. Because if we really see that the real heaven on earth is here, then we don't have to start thinking that there's some sort of separation. We just got to follow what's inherently in our hearts and
Sure.
the abundance that we see inside of us to then actualize it. So, my brother, how did you step into, you mentioned that you had this level of abundance externally. What
Mhm.
was it that felt like there was this lack and scarcity or scarcity inside of you that allowed you to then say, hold on a second, something's got to change, something's got to really shift for me to really actualize um, this deeper purpose within? Because I think these modalities that you share at your events were something that you probably used on yourself first.
Yeah, what happened was mom passes away, and that made me and forced me to look at my marriage. I was married for 13 years, and it forced me to look at my marriage from eyes that I had never seen them through, which was the eyes of truth. And when you live your life based off of what the world tells you you need to do, you got to become successful, you got to make a lot of money, you got to have the big house, you got to have the big car, you got to be married, you got to have kids. I honestly was just programmed to just kind of like follow that path. And so when I got married, I'll never forget this, but when I got married, it could have been a pivotal moment in my life. I was just too scared to do anything about it. But the camera person at my wedding walks up to me at my wedding day, true story, and says, "What do you want to tell your beautiful bride?" Right. And in that moment, I remember thinking, oh boy, I don't know what to tell her, because I don't know if I'm really like feel that. I don't feel anything inside of me to tell her anything. So I remember telling myself, dude, you better make some shit up. So that's what I did. I just did the thing. I did the show. And, quite honest with you, man, I lived like that. And so did she for 13 years. We knew we were unhappy, but we were doing the thing that religion tells you to do, that the society tells you to do, that, we were just doing the thing, and we were I feel good people and, well-meaning people that I remember me, I can only speak for myself, but I remember me just thinking, I guess this is life. I guess this is the way
Yeah.
I guess I'm just stuck here because I'm not going nowhere, because I'm a committed person, right? And so that's what started happening, is it made me look at my marriage, and it made me look at that situation, and it made me ask this question: are you really happy? Are you really happy? And the answer was no. And I was so scared, man. I was so scared to admit that, because then, like, what did that mean? And if you're not happy and you're in this cage that you believe you need to stay in, then what the hell has to happen? Well, something has to unlock that cage. If not, you're going to be stuck there for the rest of your life. And I'm pretty open about this. That's when I had an affair, and I was Mr. Goody Two Shoes. I was that guy that you would never, ever squeaky clean would ever think. And it happened. And, all of that circumstance and all of that situation led me to my awakening, my healing, my truth, to plant medicine. And here we are today.
I think it's cool because first of all, like, this is a pattern, right? That you probably were not even noticing for the 13 years with your wife, right?
Sure.
And it affected you in other areas of your life, in other
Oh,
certain, which you were probably like so fucking because you felt so out of integrity, and then you ended up taking the step in, and all honestly, your affair,
mhm.
I bet you put you more back into your own level of integrity and feeling
Oh,
of like, listen, I'm fucking here
you
and ready
know,
to like step forward.
yeah. It's so crazy, because it's like, especially when you come from a religious background like I did. Like,
Same here.
when I did that, oh my God, that was the worst. You're a sinner. That's it's the worst thing. So the guilt and the shame was piling on one side. And then on the other side, it was like, man, but I finally like did something that I felt
For me.
like, like I followed something inside of me that I was told was wrong. And I was like, holy shit, I followed me for once. I connected to and I honored me. And wait a minute, is me bad? Is me good? And that's where the whole thing just starts to unravel, And so for a long time, Eric, many people were like, oh, well, everybody makes mistakes. And I'm like, no,
It wasn't a mistake.
it wasn't a mistake.
It wasn't a fucking mistake.
No, it wasn't a mistake. It was a perfect part of my journey. And if you ask Claudia, my ex-wife, which we still work together, we love each other, we're like brothers and sisters now, she'll tell you the same thing. It was the greatest thing that ever happened to our family. So, yeah.
And you think that these like limitations, right? Because same thing, I was born, my family super Roman Catholic, my grandma super Roman Catholic. And by the way, thank you, Creator, for giving them the faith, right? The faith that they have, because the way that like their level of love and everything that had and now they're even more in this like spiritual understanding, especially by paying attention to my journey over the past 5 years. My parents, my family, is everybody's turned like into this like more spiritual rather than this like like blue.
Yeah. I got you.
So which has been really special. So but I was really always questioning, right? Like we would go to church on Sundays, and I would like look around and people were like comparing what they were wearing or cars that they were driving and things like this. And I was just like, this makes no fucking sense. Like the real temple I see here is really like, let's go outside. Let's enjoy like the beauty of the lake. Let's like pay attention to Mother Nature, the wind. Like, let's listen to the birds sing, and I was like young. I remember how important this was for me. And I started at that moment, I was like, okay, if this is how I feel at this young of an age, what else in this world am I feeling limited by?
That's a great question. And how beautiful that you felt that. Like that was source speaking through you. That was source telling you, hey, something's not right here. And I mean, I can go in deep, but yeah. Kudos to you.
Bro, this is exactly what do you think? How many people do you, and I think we should go deep here because this is important. Is like, I think that there's so many people here on this planet that don't know or don't trust in their intuitive wisdom that source is actually allowing them or wanting them, giving them that deep intuitive desire to trust and follow, but they're allowing the mind or money or people or circumstance to take them back and say, hey, like this is the way that it needs to be, because based off of thousands of years of propaganda and bullshit.
Well, I'll say it this way: the best way I ever heard it explained is darkness, and the system is here to allow you to find your way out of it. And some people find their way out of it. That's their journey, and some people don't. And if you think about it, if you really think about it, and if you really open your eyes and see, what you said was so true. It's like, here we go touting this relationship with God because we go somewhere on Sunday, and yet, like, man, I mean, let's just be real. Men still struggle with porn, and they're struggling with addictions, and they're drinking to cope with their emotions and their feelings, and they're pumping themselves full of steroids to look better because they don't feel good inside of themselves. It's like, but yeah, you with pride tout this relationship with God because you go somewhere on Sundays, and it's like, and I feel like saying, and I will say, is like, bro, you don't know the first thing about that, because if you did, you wouldn't be doing that to yourself.
Exactly. And by the way, I want to say that I did all of those things, like all of them.
Oh, that was me.
It was so amazing.
That was me. Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
It's so important, right? Like to go through that level of darkness and understanding in yourself, because then you can actually say, hey, I took responsibility for that whole journey. And when you realize that you actually become this creator within yourself and that you were limiting yourself because you decided to do all of these things, it was a choice,
Sure. It
you
was a
know?
choice. It was a choice based
And
off of the emotions of shame and guilt that you felt within while you were under that system. Because make no mistake about it, it's like this. I recently posted this image of Jesus, and
I saw it.
yeah, and it was a painting that I had done, because it's like, man, you don't see any paintings of like how he lived. And it's like, and I get the sense, but when you start doing this work, I don't want to say you heal people, because people heal themselves, but you help
You guide
facilitate
them.
and hold
Yeah.
space for people to heal. And it's like, in order to hold that space and to be at that energetic capacity, then, your chakras have to be open and aligned, and love has to be flowing from your heart. And it's like, there's no way Jesus did what he did without any of this, but you don't hear any of this. And why don't you hear any of this? Well, because then that would mean that you could do the same thing. And that would just debunk the whole system. The whole system gets debunked, And so in the painting, it's like, I want to see his chakras, because that's who he was. That's who he was. And if you want to ask, how do you know? Because look at what he did and look at how he lived. As a human being here in form, he was a human being that was connected, and he was connected at the highest level of consciousness, which was enlightenment.
And I think that this piece of like when you were sharing about the piece of of the painting, it's so funny because I literally did a ceremony. I was holding a ceremony here in Ibiza, and we were really tapping into this like elemental wisdom of grounding true energy, conscious energy, source energy, here in Ibiza for our home, for Pachamama, for like the creation, for like bringing in the sacred union of the feminine and masculine.
Yeah.
And I remember reading the post right after the ceremony. And brother, I'm telling you, like when you come to Ibiza and we sit at my home and we sit in front of my house and look at the olive tree that has been literally like, this whole house has been designed, and the way that it sits on the land, it's been like literally designed for me to live here.
Beautiful.
And when you look at the olive tree, and there's a little boy hugging this olive tree. It's like a piece of art. Okay. And when you actually when you see it from the left-hand side, you see a grandmother. It's like a grandmother consoling this little boy. And as you look above the tree, you see the face of Jesus. And it's super beautiful because you get to understand how important the elements are really the real piece of art. And what I loved about this painting that you posted is like, do you know anything about human design?
Of course.
Yeah. So the human design that was created. So I'm a manifester. All right. And so I have my ego and my heart are in the same place. And my throat and my heart are defined. Right. But my Anya and my crown are completely open. And so this was really fascinating. With the day that you posted it, and after the whole conversation that I had with like our creator and holding space for the people, it was such an alignment of ways of what the intention was for me to like continue on this path and how to continue to ground, and the way that like, the nature had spoken, the art in the forest, and all of these things, and how you look at everything was really a powerful understanding of, wow, because for the longest time, brother, and I think that I can relate this back to a lot of people, that when they go through their experience in life, as yourself through your marriage, we don't really know what we're doing until we're figuring it out, right?
Yeah.
And this was the biggest shock that I believe that many of us have, is as we awaken to life, we start to discern and discover and remember why we are here. And so this painting that you posted was like a holy smoke, like, thank you, a holy moment.
I'm glad.
And
No,
yeah,
it's so
dude.
interesting. So interesting. I was
And
so
then here we are
afraid.
2 days later talking about it. It was just synchronicity after synchronicity.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It's so interesting because I was so afraid to post it. To be perfectly honest with you, I was afraid to post it because it was like me sharing with the world what I had discovered, and that's kind of scary to do, especially when it's the opposite of what the world is teaching. So I'm glad I connected.
No, bro. I think that more people need to talk about the liberation of our um, sovereign beingness, which is like the heart consciousness, Christ consciousness that we all, by the way, have access to.
Every single one of us.
And I think that the misconception is that because you and me talk about it, or because we all of a sudden think that we are the only ones that can reach this level of consciousness, or there's still so much to learn. This is the misinterpretation, I believe, of heart consciousness and Christ consciousness. Is like Christ consciousness, heart consciousness, Buddha consciousness, whatever you want to call it, heart wisdom, like creator, life, God, nature. That this is where you become the biggest student, because you're willing to be open to every person, because the teacher is in what I'm sharing to you and what you're sharing to me, because we're willing to literally listen and pay attention, but also share with passion and share with congruence.
Sure.
This is what I feel.
Absolutely.
You see?
Absolutely.
So tell me, my brother, when it comes to now relationships, because I think that this is something that as we awaken, and we hold space for the sacred union of not just the masculine and the feminine coming together, but the union of a male and a female, or a male and a male, or a female and a female, or however, right? Because the energy is what's inside of all of us, right? The gender is just kind of something that has put into this 3D perspective. What do you believe or facilitate, or when it comes to rebuilding these relationships with ourselves, how important is it to also see that mirror with the people that are around you? Because as we know, everything is a great mirror.
Yeah. How important is it to rebuild? I'm sorry, what was the question? How important is it to rebuild that relationship with yourself?
Yeah. So this sacred union that we build
Well,
in ourselves, because we both know that the relationship with others is just a direct response of the one that we have in ourselves.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that was a big part of my growth and a big part of my transformation. I was always searching for the one, and I was always searching for this magical thing out here. And I had a moment with Source where I could vividly remember that was a pivotal moment where Source, showed me that I was the one. And that began a healing journey with myself, with feeling really comfortable with me and really comfortable with spending time with me, without any outside influence. And then, in terms of relationship with others, look, I will tell you is that the more and more that you heal, the less and less that your energy will allow any energy that doesn't match your energy to come into your space. Like there will just be like a block, And so as a result, like, I mean, I was that guy, like when I was first single, I was always looking and always, trying to hook up and find somebody. And I'm like such the furthest thing from that, I've always believed and I've always had this sense that, there was one partner for me, and I believe that partner will manifest and show up once I have healed and unraveled everything that I need to within myself. And until then, like, things are cool. I'm cool exactly the way I am right now.
Do you have a partner right now?
No. Yeah, me.
No.
That's it.
I feel I'm the same, by the way. I don't have a partner. It's like I have tons of amazing friends and people around me, like as always. But I think that that's part of kind of the community. As you build community, right? You always have great people around you.
Yeah, I just think it's not as big of an emphasis for me as it once was.
Yeah,
and it's kind of crazy, but when you get there,
do you ever feel crazy? Yeah, sorry, I was literally just gonna ask you.
Well, I was just about to say, you attract more opportunities.
Yeah,
but you just see and you see the feminine, you see the woman from a different light, and because you see yourself from a different light, and so as a result, you're a little bit more aware and a little bit more conscious as to where you want to invest your energy.
Yeah.
And that's what resonates well for me right now.
Yeah, I think that for me, that's been really beautiful. And do you pay attention to colors that like people wear? I'm just curious.
I don't know if I pay attention to it, but I'm aware of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm aware.
There's like a whole new level of awareness that like, and like the colors that are being created or the situation around you, the direct mirror of your internal, what you're thinking in the moment is like a complete level of mirror. It's a complete mirror. Do you see that and feel that as well, or am I going crazy?
No, you're never going crazy. I think that all of us, we have different gifts, and all of us have different visions. And I think it's all based off of our journey. And you might see something a little bit clearer, or something might be a little bit more evident to you than it is for me. But I don't think there is crazy. I think there's just, it's just presenting to you what you need to see or what you need to learn. Don't get me wrong. There were moments where I thought I was going crazy. Yeah, there were.
Yeah, that's yeah.
But it was about some other things that I needed to deal with. So yeah.
I love it, dude. So tell me, where do you get some of your best ideas now? Do you feel like sources directly speaking through others to you?
No, I feel like sources directly speaking to me through me. And I don't say that in, I don't, like, when you say ideas, I've always been like, it just comes to me, I've always been the kind of person, I describe it best this way. You could tell me today, you could say, Danny, there's 10,000 people, they signed up for a 3-day seminar, and they're here to grow, awaken, change their money consciousness, unravel their limiting beliefs. And the main speaker that they were here to got sick, and we need somebody to come up, and you're here, and you got to come up in 1 hour and figure out how to lead these people for 3 days. No practice, no rehearsing, no nothing. I can do it. It's just always been, I guess that's my gift, is being able to channel and meet people with the message they need. And I think that's why people love our content on Instagram so much. It's not planned. It's truly just flowing. It's truly just, we put out what we receive,
I love it. So tell me about this money consciousness thing, because this has been something, especially for myself, as I've gone through, this journey of learning about abundance inside of myself. And I also believe that abundance comes from the planet and the earth, right? And money consciousness is something that has been facilitated through such a person, from like a human experience. So tell myself, because I'm super curious, but I'm sure anybody that's listening is probably super curious about, how do you step through these levels of breakthrough with people that have, for example, like, people that will say like, hey, I don't have, I live off the land, or I don't have the money, or I don't have the, like, what is it that you would do to facilitate a transformation for people to see that money is the energy or the exchange of energy?
Well, it first starts with a desire.
Yeah.
Like, if you're someone that lives off the land and that's what you love and that's what life is to you, there's nothing you have to change.
Yeah.
Everything is perfect exactly the way it is, right?
Exactly.
If you're someone that, not necessarily lives off the land and you want to improve your land and you want to buy more land and you want to help people to, maybe improve their land. Now we're talking, it's going to take, the best way that I say it is like, I wish we lived in a world where hugs were the monetary or the energy exchange vehicle, but it's not. It's money in this world. And right, wrong, or indifferent. And I'm not here to say that, money hasn't been used in a very negative way to cause separation. But once you get past all of that, that there is no separation, even through money, that there is no, bad guy, good guy, rich guy, poor guy. It's just you. It's just an expression of you. And once you can really tap into that, you become really powerful, because the way I like to teach it is money is energy and you are energy. Therefore, you are money. Mm-hmm. You are money. And you can test this when you see someone that is really greedy and hoarding with their money. That's because that energy is inside of them. Money is just the energy equivalent of what's going on inside of you. If you see somebody that gives and is very just open, and it's just because they're just have an open heart and they want to give, And so for me, it was interesting because on my journey, because we were so poor when we were young, money became this thing, money and power and success. And, the fancy car and the gold roll, all of it. I was that guy. But it was because of the pain that was inside of me. So at that time, the money was a reflection of the pain inside of me, because I wasn't happy with being myself. Yeah. I wasn't happy with being who I was. So I needed external to feel happy, to feel strong, to feel powerful, to feel accepted. Well, now all of that comes from within. So I don't even wear a watch. I don't need any.
What time is it? I create my own time, like whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I love it. So tell me, do you feel, when it comes to the system of money, do you feel like it's falling apart or it's going away, or what are your beliefs around the money system?
You mean the current system?
Yeah, the fiat.
Yeah, I think it's going away, and I think that there's is a whole nother conversation. I don't want to get too much into it, but I think that there is, like in anything, there's a polarity, there's light and there's dark. And yeah. I think I truly believe that crypto is a vehicle and opportunity for us as human beings to be able to have and control our own monetary system. And then you see everything else. And if you open your eyes, you kind of can clearly see what's happening there. I don't keep dollars. I invest in assets, and yeah, that's my take on it. I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole.
I mean, it's all good. All the rabbit holes are fun for me, so I enjoy anything, man. Yeah. So tell me, where are you located right now? Because I don't even know.
We're in Austin, Texas.
So many people from Austin I've been like connecting deeply with. It's so beautiful. Yeah. And any plans for traveling this summer or going anywhere? Or are you
going to Greece, actually. I'm going to Greece Monday.
Amazing. We're in Greece.
I'll be in Athens for a little bit, and then I'll hit London, and then I'll come back. I'll host my seminar, and then I'm going to take off to Italy for 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah,
you should come visit Ibiza if you have some time.
I might. Yeah,
it would be really nice. If anything, I'm happy to host you, whatever you need, brother. Anything, I'm here to support you, bro.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really mean it. It's a really great space, and the community here is beautiful. We're all coming together in a powerful way, bro. So, yeah. So if anybody is super more curious about Awaken, tell me about your events, in-person events, because I've spent a lot of time with Tony Robbins, And I've really loved spending, I love him. Him and I are like dear brothers. And I was with him for a couple of years, working closely, and I learned so much from the man.
Mm.
And I think now it's beautiful, especially for me, to see like how big of a transformation the in-person events were, because I almost have like a push away against the online kind of experiences, even with Tony. Like now that he does the online stuff, I'm not totally as into it. So the in-person events have always been something that I've really
Sure.
enjoyed personally. And so
Sure.
tell me about how big your events are, or how do you cultivate them? Are they like more kind of retreat focused? Are they like real soulful?
Yeah, it's Awaken is 3 days. It is in person. We do have a virtual option because I was told in ceremony to make it affordable for everybody. So the virtual option is only $97 for 3 days. And then we'll have just under 1,000 people at this next event here in Austin. It's June 2nd through 4th. And if they want to find out information, they can go to dannymorel.com/awaken. Or they could just hit me up on Instagram, and that's where I'm pretty present at just my name, Danny Morel.
Cool, brother. I love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, honestly, dude, it's been a pleasure. I always appreciate talking with good people. Do you have any final things that you want to share? Any perspectives that you just want to give out before we get off the call?
No, I think, I share so much. Like I share so much, like, my podcast, if people want to, connect there. But, I would just share that the truth is inside, the truth that everybody is searching for is within. And if they go within, that's where everything they've been searching for is. So, yeah.
Amazing, brother. And tell me one thing too, if you don't mind, before you go. When you do ceremony, what kind of ceremony is it? Like ayahuasca, plant, like psychedelic? What kind of ceremonies are you hosting?
Yeah, I work with ayahuasca and mushrooms. Those are my two medicines that I work with.
Cool. And are you usually holding and facilitating the work, or are you doing it with a team or a family, or what does it do?
Being that it's illegal here in the States, I don't comment on that. So
okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Cool, brother. Anyways, I appreciate you, bro. I send you lots of love. If you had 3 days left to live, my friend, what would you do?
I don't want to answer that because I have a whole bunch of years left to live. I'll be here till I'm 110. So.
Blessings, brother. All the best, man. Take care of yourself. I wish you nothing but an amazing evening. And yeah, I honor you.
Take care. And hopefully I'll see you in Ibiza one of these days.
Talk soon.
Awesome. Take care, man. Bye-bye.
Hey, everyone. And thank you so much for listening to The Resilient Minds. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please make sure to go comment and like and follow us on iTunes or Spotify, and please make sure that if you really love this, to share this episode, and make sure that you're inviting all your friends to like it as we continue to unfold what the beauty of our minds does. More importantly, how powerful our heart level of intelligence can be when we combine our heart and our brain together. And more importantly, check out the alignment course that I've created. It's seriously there for you to take advantage of at www.ericbalance.com/alignment. See you on the next show.